Councilmember Mindy Fernandez, Councilmember Bennett Lublin, Councilmember Casey Ambrose, Councilmember Tamara Locke, Councilmember John Osnick, Mayor Pro Tem Woods, and Mayor Linda Ackley, City Manager Witt, and City Attorney Venerian as well. Madam Mayor, I now turn the meeting over to you, please.
Thank you. I would like to welcome everyone, and I'm glad to have you here this evening for our council meeting. And at this time, would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The invocation will now be said by Mayor Pro Tem Woods.
Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team, to open our hearts, make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness, compassion, as we collectively work towards the betterment of Walled Lake. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Ackley,
Here.
Ambrose.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Locke.
Here.
Lublin.
Here.
Osnick.
Here.
Woods.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone's present. We do have a quorum. Are there any requests for agenda changes? There being none, we'll move on. We have a presentation from the Oakland County Resource Commission. Hi. Mary Kruger. Welcome, glad you're here.
Happy to be here. It's always good to be here with you all. It's nice to see we have a full panel this time. It's good to see everyone's faces. So I just wanted to briefly chat about and summarize what we talked about last time. And then go into the petition that I sent you all. It's still in its draft format. Please feel free to have any comments or suggestions that you may have with the county. I can always schedule a further meeting to discuss it as well. But in the interim, last time I was here, I gave a presentation on the wastewater treatment plant and its current standing. It is facing a lot of difficulties with its aging infrastructure and dated processes. To summarize, this is mainly because when the Walled Lake Arm and the treatment plant were installed in 1966, the original intention of the plant was to be a temporary facility. This meant that all of the infrastructure was built around it, and while other processes were added, like our UV treatment, some of our storage tanks, and our retention basin, these were only additions to the plant. These did not address the current infrastructure that is still around today. There are a lot of infrastructure on site that is from the 1980s and 1990s that has not seen repair during its time, and it's reaching its end of useful life if we do not rehabilitate it. So this, what I call major capital improvement plan, is to address these major issues. Now, in regard to the petition itself, this is just to form a Chapter 20 drain. Sorry, was there a comment online?
No.
Okay, my apologies. So in regard to the petition itself, this is just to form a Chapter 20 drainage district. This only consists of the wastewater treatment plant and the Walled Lake Arm, not to be confused with the remainder of the collection system known as the SDS. This would be the combination of the city of Walled Lake, the city of Novi, and the small portion that is fed through Commerce Township. There are a lot of benefits that come with having a Chapter 20 drain. I know from previous meetings discussing with you personally and at the last board meeting, we had a mutual desire to be in a partnership in regard to a lot of the wastewater treatment plants projects. And I know that I want to continue working in partnership with you guys just as much as you want to with us. And one of the benefits of a Chapter 20 is that we will be able to have regularly scheduled meetings where I will be able to provide those updates directly with you and walk alongside each other for these projects as they progress. Also, you will be able to approve all invoices, all contracts, all work moving forward as part of that community entity that's known as the Drainage District. I think that that suits your desires to be more involved with the wastewater treatment plant instead of being on the sidelines and waiting for me annually to come up with our rates. The second benefit that I would like to go over quickly is the fact that there is a little bit of protection when it comes to a Chapter 20 drainage district. If there are any obstructions, any shortages in power, anything like that, instead of it coming directly to the city, if the city was at fault, it would be spread across the drainage district. So you will have that extra layer of protection of it being the drainage district itself. And if there is some kind of obstruction in the Walled Lake arm, we would be able to go after legally the cause, which would normally be some kind of commercial user. And it would be a lot easier to do so under your sewer ordinance because you would be a community, not just one city doing it. And then just so that you're aware, there are a whole list of benefits in your package. I'm only going over a brief portion of them. They're on page 4. The last one that you guys described as a desire was how to fund these projects. You did not want to go out for bond, and completely understandable. If you have the means of funding the project, then I agree. You would be able to use your reserves or your general fund to be able to do so within your flow amount, within your area of service or your ratio of the plant's use. So with a Chapter 20, you would be able to not only choose how you fund this in your own way, the way you would want to, but also you would be able to fund as you go. So instead of having that amount given up front for all the projects, you would be involved with the projects, and it would be a slow disbursement instead of it being one lump sum, which I think will hit your budget a lot less. So overall, those are some of the benefits of a Chapter 20 drain, and that's all this petition is for. It's to combine you with the city of Novi and Commerce Township for the wastewater treatment plant and the Walled Lake arm. We would meet on a regular basis, much like what we're doing here today, and you would be giving approvals for invoicing, contracts, and project progress. At this time, now that I've kind of went over some of the benefits, the overall petition itself, I would like to know your guys' thoughts and any concerns or questions that you may have.
Anyone have some questions? Is everybody still kind of catching up here?
How would the funding for this be broken out by community?
So it would be broken out by area of service. That particularly meaning the amount of flow that is going to the plant itself through the collection system. So the amount that's treated. For you, it would be about a third.
Okay.
And carrying that on, we would have 1/3 of the cost approximately.
Correct. And
It's based on the flow or the use area.
yes. And we have documentation of how much flow is coming from each community.
I believe we had covered that prior, when about a year or so ago, we had gone through this before as far as adjusting the flows. So I think it was 2 years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, that we had been discussing this very issue about how much flow we had.
So what is your estimates, and I'm not holding you to any numbers, but what type of, cost are we looking at being, what is the total project? What are you estimating the total project to cost?
So I'll backtrack a little bit with that question and then move forward and answer it directly. In your packet, just because I think you may not have been here previously at the last meeting, There is a presentation and an overall major capital improvements report that goes over every single project involved and its individual cost. I project that this would be a total of a $6 million project, with your portion being about $2 million over the next 5 or 6 years. And the main projects that have the most incurred cost are your improvements to your Walled Lake Arm, the lining and repair of the piping itself, your improvements and rehabilitation to your electrical systems within the plant. That's like your motor control centers and power panels. Those are from the 1970s, and they're extremely expensive to replace. May also need further improvements in ventilation because of when the building was constructed as well, in order to meet building code. And then you also have a lining of your sludge tanks and repairs to those concrete tanks. Those are 300,000 gallon tanks each, and you have multiple on site. And there's a plethora of other projects as well. Those are just the main ones that are the most cost intensive.
I just wanted to say, I have not missed any meetings, but I didn't
Oh.
remember the total number.
No worries,
That's a
no
large
worries.
number.
Yes.
Barry, when it comes to the lining of these pipes that you're talking about, is that the standard lining that they normally do with epoxy?
It could be a variety of materials if you so choose, as being part of the drainage board. However, it starts with an S. I'm having, it's like, it's a type of epoxy, but it's basically cured in place. And what you do is you essentially put the sock in, and once the sock is in, you go ahead and you expand it using hot water. And that hot water cures it, and then you take it out, cut it, you move to the next bit.
Correct. This is the same type of thing that we
Yes.
discussed about a year or so ago when they were talking about the grant that we were going to supposedly get for doing our local piping, sewer piping. So, but that fell through.
Yeah, a lot of grants, unfortunately, just aren't available at this time.
Right, okay.
It's the coating of the inside of the pipe.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. But I was asking how, the methodology.
You did mention, in terms of repair costs down the road, that it could be split in this type of framework.
Yes.
So, we've kind of went through this before, with a trail project here, right? Where we didn't want to accept any additional costs. How wide or how expansive would that cover into Novi, right? So my concern is how much of a cost, if something gets blocked on the Novi side, would the residents of Walled Lake have to take care of? Is it just for this facility specifically, or does it go out further?
Are you talking about an obstruction in the collection system?
Yeah, I was going back to your comment that you made, right? So if there was something that would be blocked or some repair work, additional work that would be needed, it would be spread across, the different municipalities, the two, right? With maybe
Correct.
1/3 being Walled Lake. My concern is if there's something that goes wrong over on the Novi side, right? How far, what's the borderline there between your system, the drain system, and how would that affect Walled Lake residents?
So I can definitely go in and set up a meeting with our legal team for them to describe it better. However, from my understanding, it would go both ways in that it would no longer be part of the city of Walled Lake nor the city of Novi, but the drainage district itself. So the drainage district that you are formulating would then cover any obstruction. And the drainage district would enforce who caused that obstruction to pay for it. One example I can give is fog, fats, oils, and grease. It's something that the plant periodically experiences during treatment, and something that we may be looking into in the near future. This could be very beneficial as a multi-community drainage district to be able to enforce to our commercial users instead of just one entity alone. We may have to perform a study to try to find who is doing this. Granted, we should be able to perform this internally, should be of minimal cost, But any cost to remove an obstruction, should it be that is the case, would then be on the commercial entity, not on the city.
If you're able to find that user and take them to court, and, you know, that's not as simple as you're making it sound.
Correct. It would just, it's not easy. It just would be easier as a Chapter 20 drainage district than as an entity alone.
Mary, do we have an option to, I mean, is the plant services both? Is there a way to separate ours from theirs? I don't think so.
Separate ours from theirs.
Well,
Would you
Walled Lake's
clarify?
portion of the plant, you know, is there a way to have this, our system sort of working not alongside theirs? It's all one big system.
Correct. It would just be, because this is the influent pipe that comes in, and it's the plant itself, it treats everybody. There's no way to separate it.
Would there be a board created with this new drainage district?
Yes, absolutely. There would be
And who-
representation.
Who sits on the board and how are they selected?
I would have to get back with you on how they are selected. However, representatives from the city of Walled Lake, the city of Novi, and Commerce Township would be on the board.
And the board would have the ultimate final say and authority about all drainage district matters, correct?
Correct.
And if we are.
Including projects and approving costs and how they're allocated, things of that nature.
Yes. Yes. We already have what we know to be going forward in progress in place. But yes, if there's any scope creep, if there's any changes in work, if there are any future projects that you want done or something comes up, we would then be able to go to you and say, hey, this is what I recommend to be done as the engineer. And you could say, no, if you wanted to, and you could have a vote on that.
And how many votes do you receive if Walled Lake is 30%? Do we have 30% of the vote?
I would have to get back with you on that.
Important question.
That is a very important question.
Madam Mayor, might I address that? Caution the council about moving forward here. We're talking about creating another level of government. I'm not sure that's the best way to go, could be. There's going to be some costs involved in the future because Walled Lake was the big city when all that started, and the other cities have grown past it. We're the little city now. We've had experience with authorities already. Many of you were sitting on the board when we had those bad experiences. Our vote, it becomes a no vote because the only thing we can do is vote no. It doesn't always work out so well. Be careful about moving forward in terms of creating another form of government, another level of government who won't be responsive to Walled Lake. They'll be responsive to the majority. The majority is not going to be Walled Lake in any shape or form. So whatever is designed, whether it comes up in an agreement of some kind, the best known attempt at partnering was with the Trail Board, and we became a no vote. I think you all heard those stories where I've attended the board meetings, council members, Councilmember Osnick, we actually voted at the meeting to pick an engineering firm, and we left the building and they picked who they wanted, regardless of the vote. What do you do? My point is, pay attention to what you're doing. We're gonna have to do something. This lady's gonna need money to fix stuff that's needs to be fixed. We're gonna be required to do that, but how we design our future association with the neighbors, you need to be cautious, and I don't think tonight's the night you vote for that. Tonight, you may need public hearings, you may need draft meetings, like we need more paperwork. You might want to call a special meeting, but take a look at this before you start moving ahead with this. This is not a guaranteed best option. It is for the people who want to fix what's broken over there or old, and I think that's true. We've got to deal with that. but it may not be this way. So I don't know the other ways, but I know this one you need to be cautious of. If we're 30% of a vote, you're no vote. If it's not equal, you're, if your vote, we've had that happen too many times since even I've been here in 15 years. So be careful. Maybe you set up a meeting in the future for more discussion, public hearing, give people a chance to look through the documents and see what that means, who's going to control the taxes. But another level of government, I don't know that you should speak to that so easily. That's,
Infrastructure needs to be repaired, but, how we go about that.
if you don't have a say on how it gets done, you may find yourself paying more than you need to. Levels of government have a tendency to, I think we've called mission creep. Have you heard that one? Yeah. Be cautious, that's all.
Agreed.
We need to fix it, but you got to be cautious.
I would have to agree with the city manager. I think it sounds great and grand when you're talking about it, but I think there's a lot more to it than is coming out tonight. And there's a lot more concerns to it and what it's really going to cost Wall Lake. And I don't think we can possibly sit here tonight and make any decisions. I think we do have to set up some more meetings and some more discussion and figure out exactly where we're going. There's no doubt that there has to be things done to the plant. It's an old plant.
I
Been there a long
look forward
time.
to having public hearings.
I do too.
And just,
I think that,
let's find out what the community wants. We are only just representatives. Let's find out what the people really want.
Was that a motion you made?
I will make that motion, but we have,
Ambrose will second that.
Okay. Do you want to set a date tonight or?
I would think we'll let that go to staff and let staff determine when a date is more appropriate and get back with us.
Work with Mary and
That's fine.
back to us. I think
Mayor, we can call, if the indication is to have a meeting, we can get a date and call a meeting to make it appropriate. You can call one, I could call one, and then we'll see who can make it or whatever. We're going to do a meeting as a workshop meeting, and then from there, maybe we put together a public hearing and see if they want to create an authority, some version of this. But we do need to deal with it. You need to deal with it as a council, but you don't want to give away what leverage you got, because you'll find yourself, we have already done that. Found ourselves on the short end of the stick. So we'll
Indeed.
get back with you on that, and we can call, the clerk will call a meeting based on your authority, Mayor, or mine, either one, and see who can make it, and we'll workshop it and see the attorney's opinion. He may already have an opinion, I think he does, but tonight's probably not the night to talk about all the stuff that we've read. So I'm glad we're calling a meeting, so.
Okay. We have a motion. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we take a vote?
If I could? Thank you. I do believe that you are going to be given an equal vote with everyone that is on this board. I cannot say that 100% because I am not legal representation. I am the engineer of the plant, but that is my understanding. I would be more than willing to set up a meeting to discuss those types of questions. If you do have legal counsel that you trust, I'm more than welcome to have the Oakland County legal team meet with yours before any public hearings so that we're in full understanding. And I would happily join you at that hearing as well.
Very nice.
Sounds
that's perfect.
appropriate.
Thank you, Mary.
Of course.
Roll call.
I guess we're ready for a roll call. Anyone else have anything? Roll call, please.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Sure, we'll be having more and more discussion.
You better get a key to the door. You'll be back. Thank you, Mary.
Is there anyone else in the audience that has anything this evening? Yes, please.
Thanks for everybody taking your valuable time out for this
Please state
issue I'm
your-
having. Oh,
State your name and address.
my name is Randy Savora, 1145 North Eddy, live in the Penny Lake sub. I'm having a hard time with a city light that's been 90 days out. Dan said he's divorced from it. It's not your guys' light, it is your guys' light. I am a retired electrician, 22 years from the schools, know a lot about lighting. It's an old mercury vapor, it goes out a lot, and we go through this every time. I did take some pictures and dropped them off to him. He's never called me. I've never talked to him. I did call my commercial, I'm retired, but I called my rep from DTE. He said, I'll get to the right guy. The next day, Brandon called me from DTE, called with him. He said, we're not interested in lighting up that curve. End of story. I've touched base with Casey, try to get this thing done. It's a very dangerous curve. You might know where it's at on North Eddy where it curves around. It's not really a curve, it's a turn. All said and done, it's a big deal right now. It's getting darker quicker. School's back in. The school bus goes down there twice a day. It's a big deal. The horns are starting to honk at night now because the cars can't make that turn. You cannot stay in your lane. You're going to go head to head. We've had accidents there. I suggested to the DT rep, he said, we would take that over, and Dan shot him down, so we're not interested. They would come out, put the proper LED light up, which would be like a 25, 30 water instead of that 250 water up that's eating the heck out of your electric bills. Put it the proper, and then they'd maintain it to be just like our city lights that are mostly owned by DTE and done by them. I've done a lot of homework on this. I started this problem on 6/12. Dan gave up on it on 7/21. Trying to think, yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, and maybe the police know this. The kids are coming out to play it finally. They put down Nintendos or whatever they play nowadays. They're on bicycles. We're inundated with kids down our streets late, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to give you these pictures just so you know it. If we do it ourselves, you guys have those guys by the lamps. When we were retrofitting at the schools, we probably did 400 to 500 a year, and they're only $70 for the head. You slide it off the post, slide it on 2 wires, off you go. You aim the LED, it's done, and it's quick and easy. I don't know what the DTE does with it, but he said it would be doable if we took it over. I think that's what I'm going to cover. Park connection, yep. And I am old enough here now, I'm on my 3rd generation of kids in that subdivision. On the back, it might give you a little bit of information about where I took these and what they look like.
Okay.
If you guys ever go through that little sub there at night, just turn your lights off and look at it and see what you see, right here. You won't but see your mirror. Could you pass that into the council members and all involved? I'm just really disappointed in the contact that Dan gave me, none. I think that somebody should be a little bit more transparent, at least call me up and tell me, I gotta hear it through the background. In fact, Miranda told me when I came in there several times with pictures, I gave pictures to here, and she said it's not a city light, Dan said. It is a city light. There's no marking on the pole, it's definitely our light. So with that said, I appreciate all your time, and I hope you guys, if it saves one kid's life from maim, injury, or an accident, it would make my day. It's ready to, you see these pictures, you'll be astonished at how back that corner is. And I appreciate it, everything you can do with us. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
If he says it's a city light, and we can take a look and see if it is. Obviously, if it's a city light, then we're going to fix it. I don't know all the details, but if DTE has been in contact, I can't speak to what they've said, but I can start from the beginning, find out if it's a city light. If it's a city light, there's no question we'll have it fixed. If it's not a city light, that becomes another issue.
Possibly we could make it a city light.
Well, that's, you open a Pandora's box if you start fixing lights, security lights on private property, but let's first, we're dealing with that.
Let's check
Let's
into
find
it
out
first
for
before we-
sure if there's a city connection, what people perceive is not always the way it is. And if it was a city light, I think the city would have been paying for it all these years, and it's my understanding that they were not. It was a private light being paid for by somebody else. But we need to look at that so I can tell you affirmatively, and then if the city wants to try to move it to city facilities or something, I don't know what the answer is until I find out who really owns the light.
So at this point, we don't know who's been paying for it over the years.
I don't know the name of the person, but it's my understanding of the reports back to me that that was paid by the neighbor. And when the neighbor left, he turned off his electric and that turned off the light. And DTE allegedly told the gentleman that, we'll put it on your bill, and he said no. But the city wasn't paying for the light, as far as I know. But we're going to report back to you and find out exactly who was paying the bill. We should be able to find that, find out where it is exactly, and you can make the decisions that you think you can make, what legal decisions. It appears that it was a private light, but he may believe that it's a city light. But we'll find out.
So it's not a DTE light. It is probably a private light.
If somebody else was paying the bill for several years, if not a very long, from the day it got put up, then it's not likely that it's DTE's light or the city's light. So we'll report back. You need to know those facts. I do not have that. Didn't know he was coming tonight, but we'll get that information to you, and you can make some decisions there if you choose. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience?
Yeah. Hello, Rich Gunther, 486 East Lake Drive. I was actually going to come here today with a different conversation until I discovered a new sign that's gone up. So I recently argued that there's a sign that has an election message, which is a political campaign sign, not supposed to go up till October 5th. And I just saw hanging off the greenhouse is a very large 80 square foot re-elect Mayor Ackley, Menendez, Lublin, and Oceanic campaign sign that's hanging off the side of the building. It's clearly bigger than the allowable ordinance. And again, it's 30 days too early. So I'm going to ask you guys tonight if it's okay, and you should vote on it, and let's open the door for campaign signs. Or stop selectively enforcing them.
I am not aware of the sign. I didn't put it up.
You guys want to pass that around? That's all I have. Thanks.
I'm sure the city will look into it. Is there anyone else in the audience? Okay,
nobody
the
online
next, we've already, excuse me, approval minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 19th, 2025 meeting?
Woods will make the motion. Woods will second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any member of council have a report that they'd like to make tonight? Yes, Mindy.
The City Parks and Rec Commission did meet, and we have been discussing a lot of different things. The market still goes on. We have 7 more weeks of that. But we're also in discussing some options with the DIA to have the Inside Out program come here. It's a program we did before. We're going to make sure that if we get anything, they can show their art at different places throughout the community. And so I think that we need to look at it. We're going to meet with them next month. So you might see that out and about if it's the right thing for Walled Lake.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
Library Board meets this Friday. I know from last month's meeting, it's the Friends of the Walled Lake Library's 40th anniversary, October 23rd. There's a little celebration. at the library, and participation at the programs have been strong, and libraries working well and looking good.
Good. Anyone else have any report?
Planning Commission had a meeting. We approved a site plan with conditions, and those conditions were in conformance with the ordinance. So everything was fine, just one issue. That's it.
Anyone else? Okay. Next on the agenda is the mayor's report. And I should have pulled it out, and I didn't get it pulled out. I'm sorry. You have yours handy? Thank you. We have a special tribute here to our Wall Lake Western music director. I understand that was already presented to him, am I correct?
It was, yes.
Okay.
We had to catch him on the day he retired, so.
Yes. That's very good. I think for the public to hear, for those who weren't there, and since you were very much a part of organizing this and the presentation, how about if you read it into the minutes?
Absolutely. All right, special tribute, recognition and appreciation to Mr. Patrick Dzinski, Walled Lake Western Music Director. Whereas Mr. Patrick Dzinski, Walled Lake Western Music Director and Walled Lake resident, has recently announced his retirement, and whereas Mr. Patrick Dzinski is still currently supporting the combination of bands in Walled Lake Western and Walled Lake Central High Schools until his replacement is ready, which he has retired. Whereas Mr. Patrick Dzinski, in his tenure, received accolades in 2025 from the MSBOA District and Band Teacher of the Year, and in 2022, Walled Lake Western Teacher of the Year. Whereas Mr. Patrick Dzinski has provided several tremendous performances in our communities. These include the Pink Out football game, Walled Lake and Wixom tree lighting ceremonies, Memorial Day parades, and many more. Whereas Mr. Patrick Dzinski continues to hold the compassion and dedication to his students, helping them to achieve recognition of the MSBOA 2025 Outstanding Jazz Musicians, the 2025 Honors Band, and All-State 2025 Honors Band. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Walled Lake, Michigan, Linda Ackley, Mayor, do hereby provide sincere appreciation and recognition to Mr. Patrick Dzinski, Walled Lake Western Music Director. The citizens of Walled Lake are encouraged to join in recognition and celebrating the contributions of Mr. Patrick Dzinski to the community. In reality, right, good neighbors make good neighborhoods, and Mr. Patrick Dzinski really stepped up and still continues to step up in our community. Helping and support and volunteering during the summer, it kind of really keyed into me, right, in July, when they're there on their free time helping to support, and you hear the band directors over the microphone talking to the kids saying, hey, you know, we need to see a little bit more, trying to get some motivation into them because they were there on their free time. You know, that job and what they do is 70 to 90 hours a week, more than 11 months of the year, and he did that for many years. So we truly appreciate what he's done in our community.
And I understand they're still looking for a replacement?
They do have a replacement.
They do have a replacement now. That's
Yes.
good. Okay.
Yes, Councilwoman Fernandez and I presented during his retirement ceremony. He didn't want anything big, so it was low key, so we kept our presentation in line with what he was looking for. Yep.
Very nice,
Yes.
very nice.
And I thank you both for doing this, and thank you for reading it tonight. It's very appropriate that you read it. And that's all I have in the mayor's report tonight. City manager?
Madam Mayor, Council, I would first request that you move to receive and file the consent agenda consisting of the written departmental and divisional statistical reports.
Do I have a motion?
Embers will make the motion.
Support.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments or questions on the city manager's report? There being none, roll call, please.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next item I need to mention is the mayor knows this, based on discussions at the rec board, and we're going to retry that art thing again that didn't go well the first time around a few years ago. So the mayor and I went around and located some things that they might fit. I pass it on to Dan Ladd, our superintendent, so he's going to make sure that they fit with the least amount of maintenance. That was the issue before. Once they do it, they just put it there, so there's maintenance issues and things that they're unkept. That's not, they don't follow up, so.
Sure.
Dan, can you help me out? What locations have you got that actually fit the mayor's request?
Sure, the mayor, council. The locations we're looking at first be, of course, the Casey Ambrose deal next door. And then possibly one next to the fire station in the rain garden. And then one on the wall at the library. And then possibly Riley Park, and then definitely at the airline trail.
And Dan will be meeting with whoever he needs to meet with to bring that to fruition if we can, and give it another shot this time. So that came out of the rec discussions at the last meeting, so hopefully that works out for us without giving additional maintenance or perpetual maintenance. So thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mindy.
The other issue I got for you, I'm going to keep it light. As you probably all know, the mayor sent a letter, and myself in a letter to engage the owner of the property across from what we call Mercer Beach. We're in negotiations, finalizing the process. We're not further enough along to be able to report all the details to it, but she did send a letter, and we're in the middle of talking with other agents and representatives and all of that to acquire the property. That could go sooner than later. The only one who might have a date, I'm going to look at my finance director. What do you think? 45 more days?
45 more days.
Yeah. We will be in charge of that, and the mayor leans towards a park. I'm not sure how that goes. The DDA in the city will have a big say on what goes down there. And again, as I said before, there won't be any three-story buildings going in there that create an unsightly view for the neighborhood. So that issue goes away. The only thing the members of council might arm wrestle on will be how that's going to look and what we're doing. And the mayor's already indicated she will be appointing a committee. It's a little soon tonight to kind of decide how that all looks and how it's going to go, whether it's going to be a park, a parking lot, a combination, different things. But it's a big deal that we're getting that put together. And probably by the next meeting, we'll have the engineering firm in to talk about what's going on downtown. So for the first phase. So, and that's all I've got for you tonight.
Just an add-on to the piece of property, we're doing our due diligence. That is the timeline.
That's what it takes. You don't, I mean, bad experiences, due diligence. Even then, we got to find out what that was. I think there was some gasoline stations nearby and goodness knows what else. So, but it's right there. So we're going to find out whatever issues there are. There have been a few people that have done their due diligence, but we kind of have to follow that, and we're getting those reports and stuff like that. But we are in the middle of this process of acquiring that property. Thank goodness to the DDA. We had a unanimous vote of the DDA and to budget the money. And then this council voted unanimously to approve the budget increase to be able to purchase the property. So you got a unanimous consent that we're going to acquire the property, and we're going to be able to put it to use for the citizens of Wall Lake. I'm pretty pleased about it myself. I don't like arm wrestling with developers who always want to put some ridiculous height to it, and they sell you on it's going to be a game changer. Well, this is a game changer.
Okay, thank you. Are any correspondence this evening?
No, Madam Mayor.
Attorney's report.
Yes, the ZBA had a meeting a few weeks ago, and during that meeting, the board requested some ordinance amendments pertaining to chickens, the keeping of chickens in residential areas of the city. The way it currently works, if somebody wants to have chickens, if they want to house chickens, they have to file an application, go before the ZBA, and get approval from the ZBA for their chickens. They don't have to get a variance. They just need approval from the ZBA, and the ZBA just makes sure that that they're not going to create a nuisance, and make sure that they're that they're not having too many chickens, and they're having the right kind of chickens, and they have the right kind of facilities, and so on and so forth. So the ZBA, they've heard a number of these cases over the past couple years. They've been fairly consistent in terms of what they'll allow, what they won't allow, and they'd sort of like to see those criteria adopted by way of an ordinance amendment that would tell people, what was allowed and what wasn't. And it could also, one aspect of an ordinance amendment could be to simply, have criteria and regulations that pertain to chickens that limit the number of chickens you're allowed to have. You can't have roosters. You got to have an enclosed coop and run and so forth, and setbacks and all that. And then just have them, instead of go before the ZBA, pull a permit. And then if they met all the criteria under that ordinance, the permit would be reviewed and issued administratively rather than going before the ZBA. So there's a couple different options, a couple different things you can do, and certainly one option would be to just keep it the way it is. So.
Okay. Here's to the chickens.
Chickens. No roosters.
Any unfinished business? Anybody needed to add? New business, budget amendment fiscal year 26 for the purpose of the Haas, I believe, Alert Safety Cloud Technology System. What's council's wishes on this? Do you want some more information, or?
Well, I'll make the motion, and then maybe somebody will support it, and we can discuss it.
Yeah, you want the staff to come up and tell you all about it?
There you go.
Let me guess, you want fire chief?
Did you make the motion?
Sure.
Yeah,
And did someone?
I'll second it.
Okay, okay, we got a motion support, okay.
Proposed
Now,
resolution
fire chief, you can talk about it.
2025-25.
So the Haas alert system is small transponder devices that are put on the emergency vehicles that send out an alert to drivers that are approaching it. So all Stellantis vehicles from 2018 are equipped with this. Also, if you're using a travel app such as Waze or Google Maps, also Volvo and Volkswagen vehicles have it as well. But if you're using Waze or Google Maps, it'll also alert you that there's an emergency vehicle. When we purchased Engine 19, it came with it. And so for the last 3 years, it's been operating. So over in the last 3 years, it's sent out over 3,000 alerts, and it sends out about 250 alerts to drivers every month, approximately. And that's just the one vehicle. The city of Detroit just recently went to it. They did a 10-month trial period with 10 fire apparatus and 9 police vehicles, and they decided to go to it for the entire fire department fleet and some selected police vehicles. But in 10 months, they sent out over like 300,000 alerts to drivers. So it just helps keep the driver safe because it gives them a few more seconds of warning when they're approaching emergency scene, and it also helps keep the first responders safe on the scene. And so it's approximately $360 per transponder, one-time fee, and $220 a month per transponder for an annual service contract. So it would be like $1,320 for the service contract every year going forward. And then it's a one-time fee of $3,120 to equip our 5 other vehicles. So we'd have a total of 6 vehicles equipped with it. Any other questions?
Anyone have any questions? Or were they all answered?
You're approving the DDA's approval. They agreed to fund this. It's a pretty good idea. So what you're doing is upping the budget for their budget, and they're paying for it. General fund is not paying.
Okay. We have the motion. We have a second. We need a vote.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, next on the agenda, council comments. We'll start with Mindy. Do you have any?
It was great to see everybody come out to the, and city staff and city council, to come out to the Lakes area State of the State. It was really great to hear. The last few years, we've been able to say a lot of great things. There was a time, because I've been going to those things for 20 years, there was a time where we didn't get to say a lot of good things. And so it was very nice, and I really appreciate the fact that we all go and get to enjoy a nice lunch, a little camaraderie, and get to hear great things that we're doing, but also share with our fellow communities. And we're doing really great things, and we're right up there with them. So very proud of us.
Thank you. Bennett?
So I want to say that I'm proud of our city, and I'm proud of our council. The fire department last month had a response time of 3 minutes and 54 seconds. We have a fire department that is second to none. We're working on the project down at the lake, and that's, I don't know, as long as I've been here for 41 years, and that's been something that's needed since then. And that's, you know, $1 million project that we've saved. We've saved the money. It's probably going to be over that. All of our equipment throughout all of our departments, it's newer or new, and it's top notch. So we're giving our departments what they need. Our major roads are in great shape. We're working on our subdivisions, you know, so that's, I mean, we are doing quite well. Our departments are working as one team, which is something that isn't, you know, that's sort of new to the city the last 10 years, maybe 10, 12 years. And we're doing it without debt. We save the money before we spend it. So I know you're going to hear it again and again. I just think that we're doing a great job. And we deserve some credit for getting us there. And our team is doing the work. So thank you.
That was almost as good as the State of the Lake speech.
Brilliant.
I should have had you wrote it for me. Casey.
I want to take the time and welcome the 3 new restaurants that have called Walled Lake home, that being the Brunch House right on Pontiac Trail, Zara Eatery, which is a Mediterranean restaurant right on Maple Road, and then the Mexican restaurant within the Salvation Army Plaza has reopened once again. So I want you guys to make sure you make them welcome to our community. There are 2 other developments in the works that are public knowledge that's really exciting for the community. That being our Starbucks, moving from a neighboring community, which we won't mention, to our community, which is very exciting. And Halo Burger, taking over the old Taco Bell property. Taco Bell continued with Walled Lake. They've been here for over 30 years. They built a brand new facility, and that vacant property will be taken by Halo Burger, so it will not be vacant. So good things continue to happen in Walled Lake. Businesses acknowledge that. So pat your guys' selves on the back, staff as well, but just continue the good work.
Thank you. Camera.
I'd like to thank our staff. You guys really went above and beyond for me a couple weeks ago, and I really appreciate you. And then also, last week, I parked down at the trailhead at Pontiac Trail and walked down to the farmer's market. It's nice.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive crowd, lots of booths. It was great.
Yeah, market's great.
Yes.
Now that fruit and vegetable
Oh,
looks great.
absolutely.
All the tomatoes.
Had to get some veggies.
How'd you take it all back?
Canning.
Oh, no. No. I walked down with my mom, so, we shared the load.
Uh-huh.
John.
No comment.
Ryan.
I'll just add to Councilman Lulin's comments about response time, right? So amazing, and being at the LAHA meeting earlier in the summer and hearing our neighboring community when they're pushing for, bond approval, being at 5 minutes and we're under 4 minutes, really shows a lot of the work that you guys have done. And then adding to Councilman Ambrose, in terms of the downtown, right, seeing the new paint on Wingstop, seeing the new facade on the Enterprise rental, things are coming together around here. And then law enforcement torch running through Walled Lake with Walled Lake PD supporting, and then officers Shallow and Roland running through.
Very cool.
That was
Very cool.
That one's near and dear to my heart. I run a couple events for the state games, so I know where the money goes, and it's very worthwhile, so appreciate that. Thank you. And everybody else touched kind of what I was gonna say too, so appreciate that.
Well, you're quite a group to follow. I am very excited about the city and the process of obtaining the property down across from the beach. My fear was to see another developer come in and want to do a 3-4-story building there. And I don't think there's any doubt that very few in the community, people, city officials, city council, wanted to see something like this, and I think we're getting tired of fighting for it. But there really is a need, and I'm going to call it a passive park, where the people can go and enjoy the lake, but not be part of the beachfront and the activities that's what I am hoping to see, is something we can provide the citizens of Wall Lake, where they can be with the lake, but not be in the middle of a volleyball coming at their head or sand in their face or whatever. I mean, kids will be kids, and the beach is pretty active. So I'm hoping that we could go ahead and do something like that, but we'll see what the rest of the council wants and whether the purchase of the property actually goes through, which I hope it does. But it's very nice to sit here and hear all the good things that are going on in Wall Lake. We have all worked many, many years to get there, and attending the State of the Lakes luncheon and speaking there, it's not just Wall Lake that has a lot of good going on. The surrounding communities are all just as active with their citizens and their businesses and having good things happen in their town. And I think we've all come a long way, but Wall Lake especially has come a long way. And it's really, it gives me great pleasure. And I'm very proud to say that I have been a part of Wall Lake all my life, and I certainly am proud to be the mayor of a community like Wall Lake. So with that, if there's nothing else that anybody thought that they want to bring up tonight or shoot and holler about something, I'll ask for an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let's go home.
Recording stopped.